Well, I think this was probably the worst kept secret in the whole video game industry. Hello, my gaming brothers and sisters, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Jonathan, your host here at QuickBird Gaming, and I appreciate you tuning in for another episode of QuickBird News, where we're covering all the video game news it's fit to cover for the past week. This video is going to be concentrating on April 12th through 18th, and we've got a few stories to talk about. We got the success of a game that kind of came out of nowhere. It's really filling a niche I think a lot of people are looking for. We have Xbox still stumbling on multiple fronts, trying to find their way. Confirmation of a new Metro game, and we got a couple other things to talk about. Plus, I'm going to finish with a story that's really pretty cool and wholesome. As always, each story is time stamped in the description box down below. If you are looking for something particular, feel free to drop down, look at the description, and find a story that interests you. Now, before we talk about any of those other stories, we got to talk about our headline game, and that is a confirmation that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is coming. Okay, I'm going to start with this Insider Gaming article from Thursday, April 16th. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced releases July 9th of this year. And it says that despite original plans for the game to reveal the game today, Ubisoft has decided to postpone the announcement until next week, while media and content creators received a 30-minute presentation of the game. While we won't spoil what the game has in store, we can say it's been completely reworked with new content and updates, and honestly looked awesome. One thing was made clear: despite the rumors and rumblings, Black Flag Resynced is not an RPG. This remains a solo adventure and character-driven experience. It's not an RPG. So, it is confirmed that what is widely considered, I think, by many people to be the best Assassin's Creed game is being remade. It is due out in July, and July 9th, which, as of the posting of this video, is only about 2.5 months away. So it's coming up quick. Ubisoft apparently is just about done with this, so now they're just kind of polishing off the rough edges. Ubisoft really needs a win, and this seems like one of their best bets. So we'll see how it goes. If they're not turning it into an RPG, I know that the later Assassin's Creed games like Valhalla and even Shadows leaned more into that side of the elements, and they're stressing this is going to be a character-driven experience. That's a good thing, and I think that's what people want. So we'll see if they've delivered on this or not. We'll know in a couple months. And aside from just the fact that people are really looking forward to a good Assassin's Creed game, even if it's one they played before, I think people are also looking for a good pirate game. There have been games like Sea of Thieves and Skull and Bones, for whatever that was worth, that were big multiplayer games, but I think people would actually love a good single-player pirate game. I think the Yakuza pirate game last year was pretty well received. So this is a niche that just hasn't been filled. So it's nice to see at least one game stepping into that, and I think players will appreciate it. And if you're going to have one popular pirate game, you might as well have two, right? This Games Radar article also posted on Thursday the 16th. Windrose sells 500,000 copies in 48 hours, proving the hunger for piracy is alive and well ahead of Ubisoft's Black Flag remake. This is a game that I had never heard of until a couple weeks ago when I saw a clip of somebody playing a demo online, and I was immediately struck by it because it looked like a lot of fun. Pocket Pair Publishing has announced that over 500,000 players have picked up Windrose in the first 2 days as it continues to tear up the Steam charts. I bet it's higher than that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, last week it was confirmed that the co-op pirate adventure would enter early access on April 14th, so this was Tuesday. After an extremely possible Steam Next Fest demo, all signs pointed to it popping off, and so on, and so it has. Now we can flip over here to the Steam charts, and you can see where it is. This is as of Saturday night on the 18th of April, and you can see it hit 183,000 concurrent players earlier today. And here's the thing that's key to me. Now, bear in mind, this game I don't believe is released on consoles. I think it's just on PC right now. You can see that as from the release, the peak has gone up, from 69 to 97 to 113 to 135 to 183 every day. Has climbed through the weekend, so this game has actually gained momentum. If it had 183,000 concurrent players, I'm guessing the sales total has got to be closer to 1 million at this point. I'm just thinking that they've sold more than 500,000 copies by now. And that's awesome. And you know why I think this is awesome? It's the publishers or the developers called Kraken Express, being published by Pocket Pair, the same people that published Palworld. Come over here to the actual Steam page. It's got an 88% positive. Pretty good for a company coming out of the gate. And here's the retail price. I mean, it's 10% off right now, but it's $30. $30 for a co-op game that seems to be garnering really, really good reception. Now, granted, it is still in early access and a lot of things can change. But from everything I can see, most people are really enjoying this. Here we have another example of a company that's figured out how to do this right. They just make a fun game. It's not loaded with microtransactions, at least not yet. It's not loaded with battle passes. They just put the game out there. They put it at a nominal price. They sell it to you. It's yours to play. This is not that complicated. And as the article, I'll flip back over here. Yes, there is a hunger for piracy. And here is an example of it. This if somebody's looking to make a good game right now, this is not a bad niche to try and get into. So Windrose is doing quite well. If you're interested in piracy, the high seas kind, not the computer. So, you know what? I'm going to end this right here. Just go check it out. Next up is this Games Radar article from Friday the 17th of April. Metro 2039. Everything you needed to know about the next Metro game. It's heading back to the tunnels this winter, and here are the details of what to expect. If you're unaware or unfamiliar with the Metro series, it's a series of 3 games based on a Russian novelist, his books. The games center around a young man named Artyom who lives in the tunnels underneath Moscow after a devastating nuclear war. All the survivors have gone into the subway systems under Moscow, where they form different communities that are, of course, interconnected by the tunnels. Some of them have become more totalitarian, various shades. Others have tried to form a more stable, likable communities. And there's a supernatural element kind of hanging over the whole thing. The first 2 take place, I think, not exclusively underground, but mostly underground. Then the third one is about Artyom reaching for the surface. And now we have a 4th one coming. It says Metro 2039 is the next game in the highly regarded post-apocalyptic FPS. And there's a trickle of information. While surviving in a dirty and contaminated underground train system is still front and center, there's some big changes. It looks like for the first time ever, it won't star the regular protagonist. It says the details and reveal trailer are just a tease. More than anything, we have about a minute of gameplay and it looks incredible. We have a very firm, if broad, Metro 2039 release date of winter 2026, as confirmed at the end of the game reveal. That could cover a wide range of time, but assume the studio is aiming to have it out for Christmas when game sales peak. That would likely mean October or November time. Now, we're going to just hold on to that for a second. So they talk a little bit more about the game. But this is interesting to me. It was kind of surprised. I didn't know they were even working on another Metro game. I played the first one. I got a little frustrated with it, and I think I just kind of abandoned it after it. I don't think I was enjoying myself that much. That was years ago. I want to go back and try and play it again and just see if, over time, if I've mellowed a little bit and maybe it'd be a bit more enjoyable. But anyway, for those of you who like the game, there's a new one coming. Maybe in the winter. And I say that because of this next story. Next is this Eurogamer article from Monday the 13th of April. Fable still coming out this autumn despite reports that developer Playground Games is worried about Grand Theft Auto 6. There were rumors over the weekend that Playground Games' Fable had been internally delayed, could potentially slip to 2027 to avoid clashing with GTA 6. However, the developer has seemingly extinguished these rumors by stating Fable will still release this autumn. And this talks a little bit more about that. And then they said, yes, we're bringing it out. So Fable is still on schedule to release later this year, for better or for worse. I'll talk about that in a second. And it seems like they're pulling out all the stops to try and get this game done on time and as good a quality as they can. I flipped to this Game Rant article from Wednesday the 15th. Blizzard is helping develop Fable Reboot. Now, if you read this article, it says that a Blizzard team that specializes in cinematics is working with Playground to try and get the cinematics in Fable right. Not a big deal in the sense that both Blizzard and Playground are under the Xbox umbrella. They're under Microsoft. So them working together is not necessarily a big surprise. However, it's showing that Microsoft, I think, really wants to get this game right, and they kind of better do it. Okay, about a month ago, I covered this when Starfield was topping the PlayStation pre-order charts. I was flabbergasted. I didn't understand it based on past history. I couldn't believe that so many people were willing to give it a shot on PlayStation. Apparently, they did, at least some of them. And here we are, this Eurogamer article from Sunday, the 12th of April. Starfield PS5 players demand refunds, reporting widespread bugs and glitches that leave the game unplayable. Within days of Starfield's much anticipated launch on PS5, fans are complaining of totally unsurprising crashes, freezes, save issues, with some calling the game unplayable in its current state. Why in the hell was it at the top of the pre-order charts? I guess hope over experience. I don't understand that. So anyway, they just go down here and talk, more about it. PS5 is getting out of hand. It's unplayable. Dozens and dozens of comments. We tried all this. It's crashing every 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's on the PS5 or the PS5 Pro. Yeah, I've shelved it. I've called tech support line, submitted a ticket, done all this troubleshooting. It's the only game that owned that hard freezes constantly. Starfield was never in great shape, even when it launched on PC. Doesn't look like anything's changed. This article says Bethesda hasn't responded. They have tried to issue some fixes. It doesn't seem like it's helped very much. And it doesn't seem like this is going very well. As I switch over to this Tweaktown article, Starfield's debut PS5 sales may be as low as 140,000 K, analyst estimates show. Now, this was posted on Wednesday, April 15th. I doubt they've sold many more copies because of all the problems since that day. And now, granted, this is just Alinea Analytics estimating. But if they sold 150,000 copies, they say to the tune of roughly $8 million, which is modest for Bethesda's biggest RPG in a decade, which might be the biggest no-shit headline I've seen this week. So that's where they're sitting right now. Maybe 140,000 copies. It didn't go well. It's just another brick chiseled out of the wall that used to be Bethesda. I've said it before, say it again. This inspires no confidence in Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6. I love those franchises, but I love what's in the past. I can't look forward to the future with any sense of anticipation or hope, because they're just not delivering on anything. And this is why I said at the end of the last segment, Microsoft really needs to get Fable right. Like I said, Forza is going to come out. Actually, I don't think I said. Forza is going to come out in a couple of weeks. Forza 6 for PC. It looks good. The people that I know that enjoy racing games seem to be feeling positive about it. But other than that, under Microsoft, there's not much else going on. Bethesda has proven to be not great for Microsoft. So that's why I was saying they really need to get Fable right, because this ain't going so well. And Xbox as a whole has got their own problems. And I say Xbox is having their own problems because of shit like this. I look at this article from Friday, April 17th from Insider Gaming. Xbox's rumored first-party Game Pass tier could cap your cloud gaming allowance. New back-end data reveals that Xbox is testing monthly time allowances for cloud gaming on the rumored first-party Game Pass tier. For those unaware, a report last month stated that a new Game Pass tier, codenamed Triton, is being tested and will only include first-party games from Xbox Studios. Now the latest findings discuss some restrictions on the cloud gaming, including in this tier. According to a recent post by Red Phoenix on X, Windows Central has reported that Xbox's rumored first-party Game Pass, along with another speculated tier called Duet, which is going to be bundled with Netflix, will include support for Xbox Cloud Gaming. However, the caveat, cloud gaming on these tiers will have certain restrictions, and players will need to follow a monthly time limit, meaning when you hit your limit, you're done. And regarding cloud gaming, Xbox reportedly plans to launch ad-supported tier in 2026. This model will also include time limits where players can enjoy a specific number of hours of gameplay based on the number of ads they watched. Furthermore, players might only be able to access Xbox games they have purchased digitally with no access to Game Pass titles. When people say to you, you'll own nothing and like it, believe them, because this is exactly the type of stuff that they want to pull. They want to move all their gaming to cloud services and restrict your access for it, but keep sucking a monthly stipend out of you. Xbox is absolutely going in the wrong direction with this stuff. And I fail to see how this is going to be beneficial to anyone. This is right after the new CEO of Xbox, and I wish I'd found the news article for it, said that they are looking at reducing cost because it might be too expensive. You and I and everyone reading this or watching this knows that when they say they're going to reduce the cost, they are also going to reduce the service. You're going to get less games, you're going to get less access, and if this type of stuff ever takes hold, you're going to get less time to even play for what would probably be an incremental decrease in the cost. Yeah, like I said, they're going the wrong direction. And as studios like Bethesda struggle, if a game like Fable fails and they have to lay off more people, I can just see them going into this death spiral. I don't know, because people who want a game are most likely just going to go to free to play games. They're going to play Roblox and or just buy Minecraft. They're going to play gacha games. They're going to play retro games, and then Xbox will probably just collapse under its own weight anyway. I'm only bringing this one up because I find it very frustrating. This IGN article from Thursday the 16th, Resident Evil adult mod video takedown. Capcom has forced a YouTuber to remove more than 1,000 adult-oriented mod videos showing Resident Evil Requiem characters in skimpy clothing. British streamer Grizzo UK reported being contacted by Capcom's legal division and told to pull down his video or face further action. It has come to our attention these assets have been used to produce adult... Yeah. Capcom stated the videos were, quote, inconsistent with the company's terms of service, as well as relevant copyright and intellectual property laws. Grizzo UK questioned why his channel was being targeted specifically, as similar clothing mods are shown on other YouTube channels. And then he says he can do weapon mods because he hasn't seen any of those being targeted and so on. And this is what's pertinent to me here. Back in 2023, Capcom expressed concern about the use of mods in its PC games, saying they could potentially, quote, lead to reputational damage. Capcom, you're doing more reputational damage by attacking people who are modding games. I get it. You know, the CEO of Capcom is Kenzo Tsushima. I probably didn't say that right. He's 86 fucking years old. He's a boomer's boomer. To him, this is kind of very inappropriate, this kind of process. But people buy the games. They want to be able to play the games they want to play. It's a single-player game. I've always had this stance on mods that when you buy a game and you own a game and you want to do it, you want to play it, you should be able to do what you want. Now, I know, Capcom tries to take this anti-mod approach. It is so anti-consumer. I can't stand it. And the dichotomy here is that Capcom is almost holding up the AAA industry right now, on PC at least. Sony is pulling back from PC. They don't want to put games out there anymore. Microsoft, all the studios under Microsoft are struggling. We'll see how well Forza and Fable do, like we discussed in this video, but Bethesda is in the dumps. Activision Blizzard is probably making money, but they're not making great games. EA, I don't know that's making great games. Ubisoft is hanging on by their fingernails because their whole body has been sold to Tencent. Square Enix is, I don't know what they're doing. The AAA industry just in general is not doing great. But among those, at least in the last 6 months, Capcom had a great launch with Resident Evil Requiem. They're consistently selling their old Resident Evil games, especially the remakes. Pragmata released yesterday, and it appears to be doing pretty well. I didn't talk about it much because I didn't have a whole lot of information on it other than, it had 70,000 or so concurrent players on Steam. I didn't get a lot of information on that, but Capcom's games are doing well. People are playing them, enjoying them. But they take these anti-consumer approaches like putting DRM in everything they own and trying to interfere with people who are modding. It's just discouraging sometimes. Okay, I had a video full of bad news, so I wanted to finish with something that was kind of good. This article from Games Radar from Monday, the 13th of April. Police visit 91-year-old woman who missed check-in calls only to find her, quote, playing video games in her bedroom and trying to beat her record. So the urge to lock yourself away and obsess over a game for days on days on end doesn't fade with age. A 91-year-old woman was recently surprised by a visit from police during an extended gaming session, which had been so absorbing she'd missed her check-in calls and alarmed welfare agents. This happened in Cleveland, Ohio. The woman is part of the city's Are You OK police program. Members of the program receive daily calls to confirm their well being. Essentially, just the community checking in on elderly folks to make sure they're all right. If they're, especially if they're living alone or disabled. And the call was not answered. So she missed her regular check in call as well as follow up calls from the police and her daughter. So officers were sent to her home to check on her rather than an old woman distressed. Police found the woman with something to prove. They entered through the garage and found her in her room. In a report, the dispatched officer says, "We're here with her now. She's playing video games in her bedroom." The TV station adds the woman is trying to beat her record. Missed the call, but was thankful they came to check on her. So that to me is just kind of awesome. She was so tuned in. She missed her checkup call. And you got to question journalistic integrity. They never told us what game she was playing. I'd like to think, like Skyrim Grandma or the Elden Lord, she was playing a nice, suitable RPG or something Souls like. But we'll probably never know. But anyway, good on Grandma. I hope she beat her record. All right, folks, I'm going to end this one here. I was going to go off on an extended discussion about the GTA timing, with games like Fable and Metro 2039, but I think I'm going to save that for a separate video. It would have made this twice as long. So I'm just going to wrap it up here with the news, and we'll call it quits for this week. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please drop a like on the video. If you think I missed a major news story, let me know down in the comments below, or if you want to comment on anything I talk about. I do read all the comments on my videos. I try to respond to as many of them as I can. So I appreciate all that engagement. Hit the bell when you want to, so you can be notified when the next Quick Bird news is uploaded, and all of that good stuff. So anyway, I am going to shuffle off now. I've been playing Death Stranding lately for the first time and enjoying it. It's weird. It's Kojima weird, but it's put together pretty well. It just keeps crashing, and it seems to be a common problem. But whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm working through it. So I'll be back next week with more Quick Bird news, and I'll probably do my rant on the GTA timing, scheduling issue sometime this week. So anyway, thank you for everyone for tuning in. I appreciate that. I'll see you next week. You all go out there, live your best lives, and you all stay gaming.